The world is changing around you, and you merely need to connect the dots to figure out what's going to happen next. If you've watched my past 6 videos, you know what I believe is going to happen next and where I'm going to be investing my money accordingly, because I believe what is about to happen is going to change the world for the next 5 to 6 years. The last time this happened, the world stayed in a Cold War for 45 years.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
Okay. I hope you've watched the 6 previous videos, because I think it gives you some insight as to where I'm going and why I'm so concerned. If you've paid attention to the news, you know that Joe went to Saudi Arabia and Israel and met with about 5 different leaders of countries in the Middle East. Well, why did he do that? Well, a lot of people say it was just to kind of build our relations with that Eastern bloc of countries. Well, I think you need to look a little further back. Do you remember that Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine and is basically taking over their wheat fields and their production of wheat? And I'm sure you recognize that Ukraine is the breadbasket for a lot of Europe and Asia, and that now brings Vladimir to the position where he not only controls the energy going to Europe and the Far East, he also now controls the breadbasket. Understand that this didn't just happen overnight. Vladimir didn't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to invade Ukraine. This has been a plan that he's had in place ever since the Soviet Union, or ever since he came in to what used to be the Soviet Union. And it's been his plan to put himself in a position to become a world power, maybe even the world superpower. He also now recognizes that we have a bit of a rip between ourselves and China, and that if he can put himself in control of the breadbasket and the energy supply, and he can bring China on board, who controls the supply of all the stuff that we've had and has been cultivating a relationship with South America and Africa through their Belt program, that maybe, just maybe, between Vladimir and Xi Jinping, they could create an alliance that would put them in a position to take the United States out of its superpower position. Now, in defense of the United States, we have a political system that basically we can go back to George Bush, and when we decided that we were going to invade Iraq and bring down terrorism, we've spent the last 20 years basically ignoring South America, keeping the people who are in trouble from South America away from our borders. We've made life miserable for them, while China is trying to create allies there. So now Vladimir looks at it and says, look, this is my opportunity, and I need to take control of the wheat of Ukraine and become the breadbasket for these people. I already am the energy source for these people, and if I can align with China, we can take over the southern axis, and that's what they call it. It's a axis that runs basically from Russia through India and China and down through South America and Africa, and they can say that represents roughly 1/3 of the world trade and 2/3 of the world's population. If I can take control of that, we, meaning Vladimir and Ping, we can control the world. We can become the new superpower. Well, what is the U.S. going to do about it? Well, that's why Joe went to Israel and Saudi Arabia. They need to put together an alliance that keeps Europe heated over this winter, that keeps Europe fed over this winter. If they don't do that, Europe doesn't have a choice. Do you go with the person that you like the most, or do you go with the person who heats your house and feeds your children? There is no choice here. Their political systems, that of Russia and China, allow them to have one leader for the last, 20 years with a plan, and then work every day to implement that plan. At the same time, we've had 5 different administrations with 5 different economic plans, and in some cases, no world trade plans, in some cases tariffs against our biggest trader. Now those tariffs are potentially coming off. And then where is the United States in this right now? Can we break our tie immediately with China and say, no, we're not buying your stuff anymore? Hell, we can't even get the Senate to pass a bill to put us in a position where we are self-reliant on semiconductor chips. So they look at us and they say, they're in shambles. What do you think the publicity that their citizens are seeing relative to the nature of the United States that goes into their grammar schools and kills 19 of their children and 2 of their teachers? What do you think those people believe is going on in our country? What do you think that Africa and South America are being told about what the United States is all about? And then on the other hand, when they do come to our borders to make for a better life, we tell them no. Whereas if we were smart, we'd build some high rises, we'd build some factories, and we'd put them to work. But no, we can't get this country to agree on anything. And if we don't change that, we're going to fall behind. So that brings you to where I am as I look at this. And now where am I going to invest? I'm going to follow Warren Buffett. I did some research. Should I buy Exxon? Should I buy Valero? Should I buy Occidental Petroleum? If you look at the charts, if you look at where they went, and where they are now, you'll see why Warren chose Occidental Petroleum and why I chose Occidental Petroleum. If there is going to be a fight, if there is going to be a Cold War or a hot war over energy, I want to own Occidental Petroleum. Take a look at it on your own and you'll see why. And then you make a decision. Has Kerry connected the dots appropriately? Yes. Does this mean I'm going to take everything that I have and dump it into Occidental Petroleum? No. Because whether we're at hot war, cold war, whatever, you aren't going to stop artificial intelligence. You aren't going to stop the realignment of our healthcare system, and you aren't going to stop genome therapy and genome editing. These are things that are going to be a part of my portfolio. All I'm saying now is I recognized a change, a major change in the political structure of our world and the geopolitical. And now I've got to wait and see what our Congress is going to do about it. If they don't pass that bill in the Senate in the next 2 weeks for the chip bill, we're doomed. We've got a country that has just got its head stuck up so far up its you-know-what that we're going to basically move into 2nd or 3rd place. Okay? That's my take on the stock market, the world situation. If this is the kind of insight that you want, if you want something beyond, what is the Fed going to do? Raise the rates 0.75% or 1 full percent? It doesn't matter. The world is in a pivot point. This is what matters. This is what's going to make your fortune. If you will take the time to take the blinders off and put binoculars on and look into the future and pay attention to what's going on with you. You should pay attention to where Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping travel over the next 45 days, because they're they're choosing sides. This is a backyard fight. This is a schoolyard fight, and we're choosing sides. You need to understand what's about to happen. I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. I read the newspapers. I watch the evening news. I pay attention to what's going on around me, and then I share it with my tribe. We meet every Friday, and we talk about things like this. If you'd like to be a part of an intellectual conversation, please join us. Talk to you again tomorrow.